We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Boxingego unpack. Yeah. We unpack. We unpack. We unpack. Coming to you live. Shakur Stevenson says Devin Haney is limited on options and he got to see him at the 135-pound division. That's what I want to talk about in this video. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Fight Hype captured an interview with Shakur Stevenson, who talked about his future in his current new weight class. As of right now, he has a fight scheduled, but he hasn't actually fought at that division. Shakur Stevenson, in this interview, he says, quote, "The way Devin Haney is talking, he's going to stay at 135 pounds. His father, Bill Haney, said there will not be another champion in 2023, so I'm here to prove him wrong," right? And he was asked if Devin Haney, if he sees him sticking around lightweight or if he thinks he would move up to 140. He says, quote, "Devin has got no choice. It's either me or Gervonta Tank Davis. After Lomachenko, it's either me, Tank, Ryan, or whoever. That's it." Shakur Stevenson continued on. He says, "It's a thing with these people and these fans. What's the tall dude? The Japanese dude." He was referring to Nakatani, who beat Felix Verdejo and got knocked out by Lomachenko. So he was saying, if I was fighting Nakatani, the world would be going, this is a great test for Shakur Stevenson at 135. But he said, I'm fighting the same dude, Yoshino, which is his next opponent. I told you he had a scheduled fight that knocked him out, right? So if fight fans actually do their homework, they'll understand why I'm fighting this fight. I tried going down the list. I tried getting Isaac Pitbull Cruz, tried William Zepeda. I tried all these guys before Yoshino, and it didn't work out. They didn't want to fight me. So this is interesting. Like, my thing is this: Shakur is definitely a top talent, and he should be on people's pound for pound list. If not, you got to consider him. If he keeps looking like he's been looking, you got to consider him in the very near future. I would put him on the top 10 pound for pound list as is, because he looks extremely hard to beat. He's disciplined. He's motivated. He's moving through the rankings, moving through the weight classes, and all of his performances look the same. And I say that in a good way. What I mean is his performances, you know what to expect. There's no he did miss weight, so that was something like a knock on Shakur Stevenson in terms of the discipline. But, things happen. It's one time. As long as he doesn't make a pattern of missing weight and losing your title on scale and stuff like that, then he should be fine. But in terms of his performances, whether it's Oscar Valdez, Joet Gonzalez, Robson Conceição, you know what you're getting and you know what to expect. And he's making people put their hands in their pocket, not really throw much offense, and overall just look a lot shitty and, looking a lot worse than they do versus other people. So that's really a mark of a great fighter. Now, him and Devin Haney would be a great fight because they're both cerebral fighters. They're both in the same age category, and they're both with Top Rank at the moment. So I don't like to disrespect the fighters. So Devin Haney, it sounds like, and it's been radio silent, but the latest we were hearing that they were trying to get the Lomachenko fight done. So we can't overlook that. Devin Haney, whether he's the favorite, I know Lomachenko said he looked like a heavyweight, but Lomachenko's still a 2-time gold medalist. So you can't really look too much further than that. There's things that happen in boxing, bad judgments and, robbery scorecard. You never know. So even if a fighter wins, let's say John Ryder versus Caleb Smith, the rightful person didn't win. So you never know until it ain't over until it's over in boxing. So we have to see what happens if Devin Haney and Lomachenko is actually announced. If they fight, what would happen in that fight? But looking a little bit into the future, I would love to see Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney. I think it's real realistic and real doable. I will say this about this younger generation. The younger generation of fighter, one thing is there's a lot of kind of Twitter fingers and call outs and things like that, but their teams aren't being able to manifest this into a fight. Like a lot of people call out Gervonta Tank Davis, but it's not happening. And Shakur Stevenson went through a list of fighters himself: Eastside Pitbull Cruz, William Zepeda, and that's fine and dandy if you try to get him, but ultimately fans want to just see the fight. So your team, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to get into all the particulars, but is there really a contract that was sent to all these people? Because rumor has it that Eastside Pitbull Cruz might fight the guy that knocked out El Rayo Valenzuela, and that's a great fight, and that's what I'm talking about. It's like Lou Diamond Phillips, stand and deliver. That's PBC. If they do the Edwin De Los Santos versus Eastside Pitbull Cruz, that's a great fight, you know? And I love the fight, and I think it's a dangerous fight for both. So I know a lot of people were trying to push the whole notion like Eastside Cruz is ducking Shakur and things like that. I'd have to see a bit more, you know? I know what his dad said or allegedly said. I seen a quote hanging around, but, you know, was there actual contract sent to Eastside Pitbull Cruz? And then again, we have the situation with the sides of the street. We know this. People keep holding their faith in Wilder versus Fury happen with PBC and Top Rank, but they already established and had a draw in the first fight without ESPN, without Top Rank. So there was already history that was developed and an actual fight. But outside of that, and outside of a fight being mandated, like a mandatory, like Sean Porter and Terrence Crawford, that was a mandatory fight. And it was also Crawford's last fight with Top Rank. But that was mandated by the WBO. He was the mandatory. So I don't give instances like that a lot of credence and precedence, because when you're being told to do so, that's like if you and your sibling get in an argument and you hit your sibling, and then your sibling goes and tells and snitches to your parents, and then they make you apologize to your sibling. Are you truly apologizing because you want to apologize, or are you apologizing because your parents are making you apologize? So that's how I look at mandatory fights. I'm not going to give the promoters a bunch of credit for working together on this cross-promotional fight when it was mandated. This was a mandatory because you don't really have many options. Your hands are really tied. You either make the fight that is being ordered, or you run the risk of your champion losing his title, his or her title, and or the person losing their ranking by not taking on the person that they were ordered to fight. So until I see Top Rank and PBC put together a big fight like Teofimo Lopez and Gervonta Davis, you know, I'm not really sold. So again, Shakur Stevenson versus Devin Haney, to me, is more realistic. And I think with all the Twitter fingers and social media and all the people I've influenced to cover boxing in the digital space, people are getting real far away from the reality and the reality of the likelihood of certain fights happening and the business and does it make sense and, you know, these types of things. And I can go on and on and on, because Shakur Stevenson's a great fighter, but at the same time, you have to understand that this is a business, so the business has to make sense. If a fighter hasn't been on pay-per-view, what do they just all of a sudden make Shakur Stevenson, Eastside Pitbull Cruz, and then put it on pay-per-view? And if so, is it on ESPN? Is it on PBC? You know, there's a lot of variables, because if we're talking, some people make these suggestions like, oh, make Eastside Cruz and Shakur Stevenson and do a joint pay-per-view, but that's not realistic. If you know anything about the business of boxing, it's like you don't see McDonald's working together with Burger King, you know? And if they did decide to join forces, there has to be a real worthy cause, aka the almighty dollar, and like Mayweather Pacquiao. That made a lot of sense, and they would be leaving so much money on the table if they didn't work together. So to me, I think Shakur Stevenson, not Shakur and Gervonta, not Devin Haney and Gervonta. I think the more realistic, not Shakur and Eastside Pitbull Cruz, because it sounds like they have plans with him if he is going to fight De Los Santos. So to me, Devin Haney, if he beats Lomachenko, him and Shakur, is the number one fight, and it's an in-house fight to make that's realistic, realistic. And I can appreciate Shakur. He's a true fighter. He's an Olympian. He represented our country in America, and he's calling out the names, but people just want to see the fight. Somehow, some way, it looks like Gervonta Davis, Ryan Garcia, DAZN, Golden Boy, PBC, Gervonta's team, Ryan's team, they all came together. So until I see that with like a Shakur fight, a big Shakur fight, then I think my sights are more focused on Shakur and Devin Haney, because I think that seems to be the most realistic, honestly speaking. So that's even in the future, because again, we haven't even gotten an announcement for Devin Haney and Lomachenko. So we'll see. And even if that fight is announced, we still have to see an outcome to Devin Haney and Lomachenko. Plus, Shakur has his own fight on his hands against that Japanese dude. We'll see how it all plays out. Subscribe to the channel for more boxing. I'm the best that's ever done it. The best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. So make sure you guys subscribe to the channel if you love boxing. And I'm out. Introducing Super Thanks. Right here on the official Boxingego YouTube. Super Thanks allows you, the viewers, to show a little bit of extra gratitude, which enables me as a full-time content creator to push out the content you need in the world of boxing. Underneath all the videos, you will see a heart with the $sign in it. You can enter any amount that you find suitable as a super thanks. A brand new interactive and colorful way to get your comments highlighted and noticed by not only myself, but other people on the YouTube platform. Super thanks, a unique and cool way to show and applaud us full-time content creators. Hopefully you guys enjoy the content. Super thanks. The future is now. The Hibernation 5s by Kenichi Bear. Hybrid gaming and lifestyle headphones. Out of the box, you can connect to any console or PC. Bluetooth ready with a low latency USB adapter, color RGB, and extreme bass mode. The Hibernation 5s adjust to you. Whether you need a gaming, travel, gym, or lifestyle headphones, the Hibernations got you covered. The new Hibernation 5s, link in the description. Customize the way you hear the world. Welcome to the nation. Are you tired of your YouTube videos not getting any views? Well, consider TubeBuddy. I've used TubeBuddy for years to scale up my YouTube channel. Now we're sitting over 200,000 subscribers. TubeBuddy is a browser extension that offers a ton of built-in productivity and time-saving services to take your channel to the next level. Use my link in the description to get started with TubeBuddy and level up your channel faster. We work it.